what's in it for the doctor, for the optometrist? Why should he or she associate with you? What do they get out of it versus, let's say,
Right.
their own practice?
Well, that's a fascinating question, and one that I have thought about for many hours. As an entrepreneurial type who've done a lot of these disruptive businesses. So I think the profession can be sorted out almost generationally at this point. You have young graduates coming out of optometry school now who are pretty much predilected to work on the medical side of the practice. And so all of the younger graduates we talk to are very eager. I had a young lady in yesterday who is a year out of her residency, and she just wants to do medical. And so I think we're going to find that across the country. And then you move it into the folks that are probably in their 40s running practices or working in practices. Their question is going to be, does the optical business that they're currently doing hold up for the next 20 years? Is it going to take them home to retirement? I think that's an open question. And so for those that are in their 40s or in, sort of in that range, working with an MOA might give them the ability to find a more sustainable business over the next 15, 20, 25 years of their occupational life, And then those that are in the third tier, let's say 55 to 60 and above, I think they're now questioning their retirement and who will buy their practice? Does it have any value all these years later? And perhaps MOA can be an answer there by taking some of those practices as those folks get ready to retire and creating an MOA model out of what they built historically. So I think I would look at it from 3 generations point of view in terms of the practicing optometrists in the country. And I think we have an answer for all 3.
It sounds like indeed you do, and that you're very much at the forefront here. I was speaking just the other day, actually, to a senior person in the pharmacy field, and they were talking about the fact that pharmacists go to school for a number of years, and they're not really all that excited about then working behind the counter at a Walgreens or CVS. No offense to those important institutions. But again, it seems like you're tackling the same issue with optometrists who, may not want to spend the entire day fitting glasses on folks and want to deal with more significant and serious health issues. And it certainly seems to me that's where the future is, and that's where the action is.
Yeah, again, there had to be a number of different circumstances that created this moment. And the fact that the MDs, the number of ophthalmologists in the US is not growing. It's a very flat number. That 15,000 number has not moved in quite some time. And that's really a function of the residency programs and the fellowships. It's pretty controlled. So the ingress and egress in the profession is pretty consistent. So as the number of surgical cases dramatically increase, the ability of the surgeons to deal with these non-surgical issues is just limited. So any optometrist that takes a glimpse into their own crystal ball is seeing the reality of this. Unless we make this paradigm shift to the medical side, we're facing compromised margins in our optical business, disruptive competition on online channels. It makes a lot of sense. So the question becomes, David, those that are many years out from their training perhaps are not confident about returning to the medical side. And that's something we're taking a look at. So yeah, we can work with the young graduates because we know their training is pretty fresh and they don't need an awful lot from us. They're kind of ready to go. But if we move into that zone of the 40s and 50s, we're going to have to do some retraining. And we're actually thinking about our first location in Shrewsbury being a training center. So that we'll run folks through there who need to do some of this refresher medicine and take a look at the new equipment and sort of just get comfortable with where non-surgical eye care has graduated to in 2022.
Ken, this has been a fascinating conversation. Let me ask you lastly this question. How do our viewers learn more? How our viewers may be prospective patients for MOA, and they may be there may be some optometrists watching, and there may be some business and financial folks who just want to learn more. So I need a simple answer to how, no matter what category you fall
well, I'll
into,
give you a
how do they find you?
slightly more complicated answer than that, but I understand the question. So from the profession's point of view, from the optometry point of view, we want to get the word out there. We're going to start going to the major national conferences. We're going to engage speakers and some key opinion leaders, work with organizations like yours, David, and we want to get the word out there now. I think we're ready to sort of get the profession wheeled into this program. I think it's time to do that. From the patient's point of view, we're in one big market now in the greater Philadelphia area. Our website, medod.com, is certainly available for basic information. But, we're going to be spending money soon on getting the word out there. So initially with proof of concept, it's a question of us being satisfied that what we're doing is the right thing and that it's working. And then once we're convinced of that, we want to get the show on the road. And that's kind of where we're going to be going in later of 2022 and into 23 and beyond. We're going to make some noise out there and make sure the public, remember, we got two lifts going on here. We have a lift with the general public and we have a lift in the medical community. And those are big lifts. So I want to do it right when it's the right moment. But the simple answer is the website. The bigger answer is we're working on getting our name and our value proposition out there aggressively.
Well, Ken, thank you for joining us today. Our guest has been Ken Krieg. He's the CEO of Medical Optometry America. Check them out on their website. And Ken, it's been a fascinating conversation. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of feedback, and we appreciate your being with us today.
Well, thanks for your questions, David. They were insightful, and I appreciated the time. Thanks much.
This is David Nevins for CityBizList. And if you're interested in our conversation today, check out MedOD America. I think you'll find it valuable. Thank you very much, David Nevins for CityBizList.